Working class beer reviews. What's up, guys? It's been a little bit. Been a week or couple weeks since I put out a video, but I came across this at Walmart. It's called Brewmasters Light. Had this at Walmart for this is a 16-ounce can, 84 cents. Come on, y'all. I mean, you know it's got to be some private label brewed for Walmart stuff. I didn't even look online to see if there's anything about it. I don't see a website. So, yeah, Brewmaster Light American Lager, brewed with the American way using the finest hops and grains. When they say grains, that means it's going to be adjunct. It's very similar to it's like a cross between, like Bud Light, obviously, but then you see that like design in the background with the brew house. Kind of reminds me of like Plank Road Brewery for Coors, or Miller, I mean. Brewmaster Selection. Mastery in the brewing is more than a title. It's revealed in the craft. When you taste true excellence, you know it's the work of a brewmaster. So before I get to looking around on this, got my church key here. Have you guys been church keying your cans? I've been doing this for a couple of years now or more. Maybe about 3 years maybe in total. And I've always tried to church key my cans. I got just a regular plain old pint glass like you'd get at a restaurant. I actually got the glass at Menards for 99 cents. So with the glass and the beer, I'm still under $2. We'll let that set up. Gave that a nice aggressive pour. Got government warnings there from the Surgeon General. 1.2 servings per container. So a 12-ounce serving is your normal serving. This is 16 ounce. 4.2% alcohol, so like a normal American light lager. 111 calories, 6.8 grams of carbs. A little higher on the carbs than a normal light lager. Advanced Partners 2. Is that like the Roman numeral, like II? Irwindale, California. I don't know anything in that area. It could even be a craft brewery that they're contracting with and just doing a cheap light lager. So if any of my viewers know anything about Irwindale, California, if there's a brewery out there, there's a craft brewery that got bought up by one of the larger breweries. Does one of the larger breweries like Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch have a brewery out in California in that town? I don't know. But it's still setting up. Clear golden, light golden. Very foamy head though. That's not indicative of Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser is how they Anheuser-Busch. Not even of Coors. This to me says Miller. Miller does a lot of contract brewing. They do a lot of the Pabst brewing. I think Pabst usually gets a good strong head. You know, very clear. I'm not in the sunlight. I'm in the garage. Let's see. Just seeing imperfections in the glass. With it being such a cheap glass, I know it's not going to be perfectly smooth and all. Very little cleaning on the side, so it's beer clean on the inside at least. Let's, it's a very typical aroma. I'm expecting a very typical flavor. But it's not as straw thin flavored as like Natty Light or Keystone Light, Milwaukee's Best Light. It's kind of like, it smells like in between. I'm getting some flavor, like a paperiness. And I know that's usually said in a negative way. It doesn't taste negative. It's just something different. It's not as crisp. Which is kind of throwing me off. Because honestly, tell me what you think. When you look at that label, does it not look like Bud Light? Kind of like they're going for the the big light on there, American Lager. So To me, it definitely has a Miller aspect to it. Top it back off. So, like I said, this was 84 cents at Walmart, and I've seen it at other Walmarts in town, and it's priced differently. I don't know why that is. It's like $1.25 at some Walmarts, but the one in particular in the town I live in here, there's one here. There's a couple in the surrounding towns too. 84 cents, but I saw a 6-pack of this. It was like 6 something, almost $7. So it was like more than $1 a beer if you get the 6-pack. I'm like, I could just buy a bunch of individuals to get it cheaper then. Why wouldn't I just do that? So tell me how that works. Oh, that was weak. I know I could do better than that here. Just wait till later on in the video. I'm sure I'll get a better burp. So, yeah, definitely working class though. Price-wise, flavor-wise, yeah, it's not bad. I've had some bad beers, you know, in the past year or so. Mainly the heavy malt liquors. I see advertisements for Frio Light. I don't see Frio Light around here, and I've heard negative things about that. But I don't. You know, like with Miller, you can get that kind of vegetable flavor, kind of like the mixed vegetables. It's got to be from the corn, you know, dextrose syrup, but it doesn't taste straight up corn, like Rolling Rock. It is pretty watery. Like I said, it's kind of a wet, watery finish, not super crisp. So if it has rice in it, it's possible that's a little bit of everything. But more than likely, to make it that cheap, it's just going to be pure extracts of barley malt and corn syrups, and then hop extracts. There's not going to be any whole grain or nothing in here, you know. This would be like one of those cheap home brewing kits. I bet if you were to buy a cheap home brewing kit to make a light American lager, this is probably what, you know, if it was made in an actual facility, this is how it would turn out. Now, if you made it at home and you weren't really familiar about how to do all the steps properly, it might taste a little different. You might get some, still not that great. Come on, Caleb, you do better than that. I had bought 3 of these. I had bought the light. They had a Brewmasters regular. Then they have a golden cerveza. The Brewmasters regular is disappeared from my fridge. I didn't touch it, but I'm assuming I know who did. So I'm thinking it's either my wife or my father-in-law, probably, which is fine. For 84 cents, I can easily go get another one. But I do have the golden cerveza, and it kind of looks like Modelo on the label, but it's a 16-ounce can. That's what drew me to this. For 84 cents, 16-ounce can. Why wouldn't I at least review it? It's kind of cool. You know, they did a good job with you know, the decorations on the appointments on the can. So, I don't know. It's definitely worth its price. I'll say that much. Would I, if it was priced the same as the rest, would I choose this over the others? Probably not. I would go something with a little more cleaner finish. You know, I'd go with a natural light or you know, Keystone Light, something like that. You know, I don't have anything against like Bud Light or Coors Light, Miller. I like Miller Light because of the label. That's so superficial. I get it, but I like that kind of vintage throwback label. It kind of makes it look like the 70s, you know. And then, you know, Bud and Bud Light back in the early 2010s did their reproduction type labels. It wasn't necessarily like a reproduction of an old label, but it kind of had that stylized, that minimalist but classic looking style. Man, you know what? I feel like I failed my audience. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to make it up to you in a different video. It's just not happening. It's not really as effervescent. Although you saw how much of that charge that I let out when I poured it. It did. I mean, it was like at least 2 fingers, if not even a little bit more, when I initially poured it. That was a good sign to me, because I think you need to be able to release all of that carbonation to make the beer more enjoyable. At least it won't bloat me up as much. All beer is going to bloat you up to an extent. But, if I let my stomach out, I gotta suck it in for the camera. So I look halfway decent. Otherwise, it looks like some slob. But go check it out at your local Walmart. See if you can find this in the single serving beer sections. You might be able to find it in the regular beer, part of the beer section with the 6-pack rings of these pint cans. Give it a shot. For the price, you're not investing much. Just to say you tried it, and you could have conversations about it down the road. Because I remember when Walmart had Rockdale beer. They had Rockdale Light, and Rockdale Ice even at one point in time. And you could get them in 12-ounce cans, like in I can't remember, any of you guys that I remember you seeing videos. Ron Terrio, if you're watching this, remind me, did Rockdale come? I remember it came in like the 24-ounce cans, but I think it came in 12-ounce cans, but I can't remember if it was the 12-packs or you had to buy a whole 24-pack of those. And they were, man, I want to say for the 24, if it was 24 packs, it was only like $12. It was really cheap. And the tall cans were maybe $1.50 or cheaper. We're talking close to 10 years ago though. I want to say it was like 2015 when those things came out. Maybe possibly earlier, or maybe 2015, 2017, somewhere in there. But this is a little cleaner than what I remember Rockdale tasting like. So, yeah, it's worth the 84 cents, that's for sure. So, if you guys try this, let me know what you think. And you're welcome to bash on it, hate on it. I really don't care. I don't have a personal affinity for this. I just want to try it. Need to get some content. Man, I thought I had one in the chamber for you. And yeah, it's good to add to my repertoire that I've tried this. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching this, and I will see you guys later.